Okay. Hi everyone. We're from Group 7, and today we're gonna discuss on Chapter 17, which is on teams and teamwork. These are our group members. There's Alifa, myself, Olang, Farhan, and George. Okay, with learning objective 1, teams in organizations. Let's start. Okay, so we can define team as a collection of people who regularly interact and work interdependently to pursue a common objective. Teamwork is the process of team members working cohesively to accomplish common goals, and interdependence is the extent to which team members depend on one another to complete their work effectively. Here are some role of managers in teams and teamwork. First is as the team leader, where the manager serves as the appointed head of a team or a work unit. Secondly, a manager can also be a team manager at which he or she would serve as a contributing part of a project team. Thirdly, a manager can also become a network facilitator. The manager in this case serves as a peer leader and networking hub for a special task force. And lastly, a manager can also be a coach or a developer at which he or she would serve as a team's advisor to improve the team's process and performance. Here are some pros to teamwork. The first one is the performance gained through synergy. Synergy itself is the creation of a whole greater than the sum of its individual parts in terms of teamwork, of course. Secondly, there will be more resources for problem solving, improved creativity and innovation, improved decision-making quality, greater member commitment to tasks, increased member motivation, and increased need satisfaction of members. On the other hand, there are also cons to teamwork. The first one is the personality conflicts and work style differences that may disrupt a team function. Secondly, unclear tasks, ambiguous agendas, and ill-defined problems and roles can lead to inefficiencies. And thirdly, a common problem is social loafing. This is the tendency of some members to avoid responsibility by free riding during group tasks. Organizations as networks of teams. There are two types of teams or networks, I guess. The first one is formal teams. This is an unofficial recognized collective that is supported by the organization. Examples are departments, business units, groups, divisions, etc. Formal teams create interlocking networks that serve as the foundations of the organization structure, and managers are the key linking pins among them. Secondly, we also have informal groups. These are the unofficial and they emerges spontaneously from relationships and shared interests among members. There are a few examples such as interest groups, friendship groups, support groups, etc. Being part of an informal group can satisfy one's needs that are otherwise left unmet in one's job. Next person, please.
Okay, next we're going to talk about trends in the use of teams. Next, please. Okay, so the first one is committee. It is designated to work on a special task on a continuing basis. Their agenda is typically narrow, focused, and ongoing. A designated head or chairperson who is accountable for their performance. The second one is project teams or task forces. It's convened for specific purposes and disband when its task is complete. The third one is cross-functional teams. Cross-functional teams operate with members who come from different functional units of an organization. So cross-functional teams can help reduce the functional chimneys problems, which is lack of communication across functions. Next, please. Okay. Next, members of self-managing teams have the authority to make decisions about how they share and complete their work. You can look at the figure. So members of these teams have high degree of task interdependence. authority to make decisions about how they work, and collective responsibility for results. So the benefit of self-managing teams are better performance, reduced cost, uh, greater engagement, and high morale. Next, please. Okay, after that, there is a virtual team. Virtual teams work together and solve problems through computer-mediated interaction. It can be very efficient because members adhere to time schedules and are less prone to stray off tasks. However, there are also potential disadvantages, such as lack of face-to-face interaction. But we can prevent that by choosing someone who is an initiator, has positive attitudes, works hard to meet team goals, and provide regular feedback to team. And the last one is team building. Team building is basically a sequence of activities to analyze a team and make changes to improve its performance. The process begins with creating awareness of the problem and gathering data and understanding the problem, making plans to correct it, implementing the plans, and evaluating plans. Okay.
So the third learning objective is on how teams work. The effectiveness of a team is mainly measured by three things: its ability to perform tasks, how it can satisfy its members, and how it can remain viable in the future. There are three key inputs in building a team. First is to find the right blend of member characteristics that is crucial for a team's success. Teams need members with the right abilities and attitudes to create chemistry. Building a team of people with diverse characteristics can benefit a team performance-wise. The second key input is resource allocation and task division. They also affect how well team members can function. Thirdly is to find the right size for the team to accomplish an objective. If the team is too little, then the task becomes too overwhelming. If it's too large, then a lot of complications may occur. Next. There are 5 stages in developing a team. The first one is the forming stage. It involves the entry of individual members into a team. This stage consists of task orientation and interpersonal testing. The second stage is the storming stage. It is a critical stage in team development. On this stage, members begin to adapt to each other's styles and can now understand task agendas and objectives. The third stage is the norming stage. That is when members actually begin to cooperate. Team members will begin to develop a feeling of closeness, get a clearer picture of the division of labor, and shared expectations that can protect the group from disintegration. The fourth state is the performing stage. That is when the team can be considered to be mature, organized, and well-functioning. The team now has clear and stable structure, and members are motivated by their objectives. The final stage is the journeying stage. This is when teams are nearing objective completion and preparing to disband. In this stage, acknowledgement of each of the team members' contribution is vital. Next. Another aspect is how we can describe the norms and cohesiveness inside a team. So norms are behavioral expectation and rules to be followed by team members. Positive norms must be encouraged during the forming and norming stage of the development by orienting team members to desired behaviors. Cohesiveness is the degree to which team members are attracted and motivated to remain as a part of a team. Cohesiveness can be developed by rewarding team achievements and increasing team interactions, and also by introducing competition to other teams. Lastly, there are 3 types of communication networks that can be found within a team. The first one is a decentralized communication network that allows all members to communicate directly with one another. Then there is a centralized communication network. That means that communication flows only between individual members or a hub or a center point. The last is restricted communication that only has communication within individual subgroups.
The last learning objective is decision-making in teams. So decision-making is the process of making choices among alternative courses of action. Good teams use various methods of decision-making for different kinds of problems. Professor Edgar Schein's decision-making methods are lack of response, authority rule, minority rule, majority rule, consensus, and unanimity. Next slide. So the first method is lack of response, which is the suggestion of idea without discussion. It is when the idea is accepted due to lack of response, not by critical evaluation. The next method is authority role, which is when the leader or the authority figure makes a decision for the team. It can be done with or without discussion, and it is time efficient. However, the effectiveness is dependent on the quality of the leader making the decision. The next method is minority rule, which is when 2 or 3 people dominate or railroad the team into making a particular decision. This is done by making a suggestion and forcing quick agreement among members. The next method is majority rule, which is the most common and is when voting on taking decision happens. It may create coalition of winners and losers and make losers unenthusiastic about implementing the decision and create resentments within the team. The next method is consensus, which is full discussions leading to one alternative being favored by most members, and other members agree to support it. It doesn't require unanimity, but require argument, reasoning, and concerns acknowledged. The final method is unanimity, which is when everyone agrees on the decision. However, it is extremely difficult to achieve in practice and may lead to authority or majority or minority rule due to the difficulty in achieving consensus or unanimity. Next slide. So the advantages of team decisions are increases the availability of useful information, knowledge, and expertise, expands the number of action alternatives that the teams examine, help avoid bad decisions caused by tunnel visions and considering few options, increases member understanding and acceptance, and builds commitment to work hard to implement team decisions. However, the disadvantages can be hard to reach agreement with many different people in the team, social pressure to blend in with the majority or even minority domination, where members may feel forced or railroaded into accepting decisions by said minority. It's more time consuming and it has a longer decision-making process, which may be costly for the company in certain situations. Next slide. Groupthink is the tendency for highly cohesive teams to lose their critical evaluative capabilities. Teams with high level of cohesiveness or unity have strong loyalty towards one another, making it hard to objectively criticize and evaluate ideas and suggestions. And it may end up publicly, and members may end up publicly agreeing with suggested decision, but doubt and disagree in private. The symptoms of groupthink are illusions of invulnerability, rationalizing unpleasant and disconfirming data, believe in inherent group morality, stereotyping competitors as weak, evil, and stupid, applying direct pressure to deviants to conform to group wishes, self-censorship by members, illusions of unanimity, and mind guarding. Thank you.